Welcome to one of the last speeches today at Women in Tech Night. I'm very happy to be here and happy to see you all, so many powerful and wonderful people and women. And yeah, my name is Sarah Grendel and I'm from Austria. And as you might associate with Austria, I'm a mountain enthusiast. So I'm in love with all kind of mountain sports. And yeah, I turned 29 yesterday and I'm working as the marketing lead, head of marketing at Cosmo Consult, which is one of the biggest Microsoft partners and consequently an IT company. Today, I would like to share some stories and insights of my past 3.5 years, my first experiences as a young female leader. And before we jump into some stories, I would like to draw your attention to the number of 30 to 35%. As you might know, on average, 30 to 35% of employees in tech companies are female. And the number of female leaders are even lower. And these statistics are alarming, especially considering that female leaders have a positive influence on productivity, collaboration, fairness, dedication and transformation towards shared goals. However, women are still underrepresented in leadership positions. But this is not why I'm here today. I'm not here today to talk about why women are still underrepresented in leadership positions. I'm here today to talk about the challenges that might arise as soon as you as a woman or a young woman accept a leadership role. And I'm also here today to talk about how to turn difficult conversations and situations into opportunities of growth, into sources for energy, for improvement. So let's directly jump into some stories. And I would like to start or go back a few years. So when I was 25, I've just finished my master's studies. And all of a sudden, my former team leader marketing left the company. And I remember I was talking to our general manager, Patrick, and we both agreed immediately that I'm too young, too unexperienced to take over the leadership role. So we both agreed, okay, let's coordinate everything together until we find a solution, meaning to find a new team lead. And after some months of interim coordinating, so to say, Patrick was brave enough or maybe crazy enough to ask me to take over the leadership role. And I remember I was grateful, I was excited, I was overwhelmed and also scared, like really scared. I had no idea how to lead a team, how to develop my colleagues further, or what techniques and style make a great leader. But Patrick believed in me, invested in me, and coached me. And since then, a lot of situations and projects have happened, and many encouraging leaders and mentors by my side supported me to shape me into the person I am today. So this is my first advice to you and success factor. Take risks and chances and be on the lookout for a great mentor, a great coach, somebody who believes in you and your uniqueness, somebody who sees you and your capabilities, and somebody who is ready to invest their time, their energy, and their knowledge. The second story also happened to me rather at the beginning of my professional career, leadership career. And I remember I was the youngest team member back then when I accepted the leadership role. And one of the team members who has been there for a very long time with the company all of a sudden reacted or acted very rudely. And nobody in the team knew why. And so I knew I need to address the situation. I need to clarify and find out what the issue was. So I took the phone and called him because we were not sitting at the same location. And I started to ask questions. And I asked whether it was the job and role the person was in, whether it was me as a young female leader who took over the leadership role, or any other imaginable reason. But I only received negative answers. No, 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 Sarah, there is nothing to talk about. And he dropped the phone call very abruptly, and I started to reflect myself. I was like, what did I do wrong? And what should I have done differently? And after like 2 minutes of self-reflection, the person called me again and said, "Thank you, Sarah, for listening. You are a good person. So this is the second advice I would like to give you. Ask questions and listen to actually hear and understand. And create a safe environment for your employees where honesty is appreciated and emotions are allowed." For the next story, I want to go outside my company. So a few years ago, I did a leadership training in Munich. And the trainer asked me to only react to the positive phrases in the sentences instead of the negative ones. And he said, "Sarah, even though you are a woman, we promote you to take over the leadership role of the marketing department." In my response, I was questioning why being a woman might not be the right one for this role. And I also asked what qualities a man possesses that I lack. And the guy told me, "Sarah, you're acting wrongly. You should only focus on the positive things in your career." And I told the guy, I don't want to work for a company where women are seen and treated like that. And so the guy was angry and annoyed, but I didn't care. And 2 days later, I was talking to our CEO, Uwe, and I asked Uwe, "Uwe, do you think I reacted wrongly in that situation?" And he said, "No, Sarah, you showed integrity by sticking to your values and acting accordingly." So this is the next advice I would like to give you. As soon as you are at the beginning of your leadership career, ask yourself, who do I want to be and become as a leader? What are my values and principles? What is my purpose? Why am I here? And as soon as you know your purpose and you can answer these questions, communicate it and act accordingly. Because sticking to your values and principles increases trust, increases credibility, reliability. And also, as our CEO said, it is an investment in your integrity. The next story I would like to share is about good team management and about setting clear expectations. So I once had a team member in my team who stretched the meaning of flexibility. So the person came and went whenever the person liked to. And yeah, until my trust was exploited and I was being lied to many times. And again, I started to reflect myself. What did I do wrong? And how do I find the right balance between trust, independence, empowerment, without micromanaging my people? And now I can tell you what helped me was setting clear expectations, talking about consequences, and also talking about commitment. Like, do we agree on that? And this is like in any other relationship we have. If we don't talk about what we expect, we can't expect that people act like we want them to act. So be clear about roles, responsibilities, and commitment. For the next story, I want to go again outside. I want to talk about speed. And as you might know, the IT industry is known for its rapid technological advancement. So products, solutions, systems, they are constantly evolving. And every day is filled with new innovations, new tools, new frameworks, whatever. And the same happens in the marketing department where I am. So channels do change, algorithms do change, formats do change. So an event that worked yesterday maybe does not work tomorrow. And I learned, now I need to think about what I want to tell you. Wait a second. I knew that moment is going to happen. Exactly. So the marketing department is also filled with changes. And sometimes this might lead to being frustrated and overwhelmed. So it also happens to me. I'm very often asking myself, am I on the right track? Am I updated? Do I know everything I need to know for this meeting, etc.? And what I learned is, as a leader, you don't have to know the answers for everything. And as a leader, you don't have to be the specialist for everything. And as a leader, you don't have to be involved in every project. As a leader, you are here to lead. And this is also when, like 2 days in my first leadership role, a colleague called me and said, Sarah, put everything aside you are currently doing. You are not here for doing these kind of things anymore. You are here to lead. And that's true. As a leader, you are here to lead, to empower your people, to listen to your people, to support your people, to serve your people, not to be the specialist for everything. Now I'm coming to my last stories. And the last situations involve instances of disrespect. So sometimes life isn't fair, and sometimes people act disrespectfully. And we can always change how we think about it and how we handle it. So for example, I remember a guy of a partner company who told me how easy my life was. Because I didn't have a family, I didn't have children, I was single. So, Sarah, you don't have a busy life. And I remember another guy who introduced me to a group of people as something like the head of marketing. And I remember a guy shouting at me, even though there was no reason to shout at me. And I remember many situations where I wasn't involved, even though it was my area of responsibility, or people avoided to talk to me in person and afterwards sent me a disrespectful email with putting other people in copy. And what I can tell you is, emotions are okay, and emotions are human. So it is okay to not feel okay, because obviously somebody did not treat you well. I can recommend you put your emotions away from that kind of person and also from that kind of situation. Be and act stronger than the other person ever did. Be your strongest self, and at the same time, the strongest person the other person has ever met in their life. Be and behave like a professional. And how are you going to be that kind of professional? Well, I learned talk to the person directly, personally, and in a one-on-one. So go with them somewhere else and speak about the facts, what happened. And then ask for the reasons behind the behavior. And what I needed to learn is to ask for the reasons, like, or no. Communicate them how you expect to be treated. And this is a very hard part. And as soon as you have done that, continue resolving the further business steps to resolve the situation. Honestly, you will be surprised about the reactions of these persons, because they see how professionally you handle the situation. And I learned that difficult conversations are always worth it. With some of these people, I really have a great relationship in business right now. So leave your comfort zone and earn that goddamn respect. I'm not ready. Thank you. So what did I want to achieve by telling you some stories of my life? I believe in the power of people, and I believe in the power of you. So sometimes difficult situations are likely to happen, but I believe in your power, in your consistency, in your hard work, in your ways how to handle it, how to deal with it, how to overcome with it. And at the end of my story, or at the end of my speech, I would like to recap a story which happened to me last year when I did a vacation in Peru. And on my last weekend, I went to do the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. And when I came back and went to the city of Cusco, I met this taxi driver. And this taxi driver, we were talking about our lives, and he asked me whether I was happy and what I was currently doing in my job, and so on and so forth. And I told this guy that I was very happy right now, very happy in my private life and also in my professional and business life, and happy with the company I was currently working in. And I told him that a lot of luck led me there. And he interrupted me and said, I don't believe in luck. There is no luck. Luck did not lead you there. And I was confused. And I looked at him and said, "What do you mean by that? What do you mean luck does not exist and luck did not lead me there?" And he said, "It's your personality that led you there. It's the decisions you have taken that led you there. It's the actions you have done that led you there. But it wasn't luck. It was you." And so this is how I would like to end my session for today. You are the actor in your movie. You are the writer of your story. And you are capable of anything you can imagine with your personality, with your actions, and with your decisions. Thank you very much for your attention. Is there a question?
Yeah.
Hopefully I can answer. You can ask me in German also. Yeah.
So I hope I can ask in English. Yeah, first of all, thank you for sharing your stories and your advice. It was actually a bit creepy that we have so many parallels in our career paths. I also ended up leading a marketing department, which kind of almost felt like it was by accident at the age of 28. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it was me being the actor in my own movie. But part of that role ended up, obviously I had a lot of impact on not just marketing, but other areas of the organization. I worked for quite a small company or mid-sized company. And something I noticed sort of a couple years in was I was often the only woman in the room when really big decisions were being made. And I think that was, I hope I'm not the only one. And I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to ask you is like, when those big decisions are being made, I kind of felt like I was carrying responsibility, not just for myself, but for every other woman in the organization. And part of that led to, I think, a lot of weight sort of on my shoulders. And I wonder, how do you deal with maybe yourself being in a room and looking around and realizing, wow, okay, I'm the only woman here. And sort of how that also maybe leads to sort of an imposter syndrome. I think especially as a young woman, we're often put in a different sort of box. The way we react to things, the way we perceive things, it's sort of through the lens of, well, she's a woman. And I wonder how you dealt with that, either on the imposter syndrome side of things or being kind of the sole woman in the room, if you could speak to that.
Yeah. Honestly, oftentimes I don't recognize it anymore, but my boss, Peter, he always says to me, "Sarah, being well prepared is like one of the biggest success factors." So if I know that, I don't know, it is a discussion or a presentation or a meeting where big decisions are made, I'm always gonna be well prepared, because obviously I don't have the same experiences as most of the people who are in the room, because I'm younger, even though I'm now getting older. But I try to prepare myself. I try to think about questions that I'm going to ask. And I also realized that asking questions is like one of my biggest success factors. Because there is a saying that says, if you're not the smartest person in the room, change the room. So always take the opportunity and ask questions and try to learn as many things as possible. This is how I deal with it.
Hello, Sarah. My name is also Sarah.
Hello, Sarah.
That's my childhood name. I'm from Indonesia. So first of all, happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for your authentic story. I have a little bit of a different angle here. So we often have a conversation where we all the only women or the youngest or only a few handful of women in the big boardroom. But I have an angle where actually you are ready. You want to take leadership and you want to show yourself you can, but there's a competition between women. And that is the competition that is a little bit challenging that I've seen. And I would like to ask you, how do you handle it, or whether you have had that situation? Because I personally had it. And it's a matter of you wanted to take leadership, but the leadership doesn't let you to take it, or there's no room for you to grow. And also for the women themselves, there's a little bit of a silent competition, or the way the most not healed feminine energy of us or qualities, they are there. How do you handle this, or have you had any experiences with this? If not, then maybe any of the ladies here would like to also share the experiences. I would also leave that to you.
Yeah. Honestly, I did not have this experience, so I don't remember a situation where there was a competition among other women or among other men. I just went my own path, and even though this guy in Peru told me that I wasn't lucky, but I think I was lucky. Like, some people really supported me and coached me and have been by my side as a mentor, and I'm very thankful for these people. So I did not have this experience, but maybe somebody in the audience has. Here is somebody.
I've definitely had the experience. I've also figured out some ways that help. One is to just put it in the room, like literally with the person you feel like this is going on. Go for a coffee. Say, hey, there's one way to work together and there's another way to work together that I would prefer. Can we do this? Make this a team sport. Like, suggest how you can support each other. Follow through, do it. Like, hopefully they will reciprocate. Usually they do. And reframe from this idea in your head that it is a competition. Because once you have that thought in your head, you start competing yourself. How can you be a collaborator? Who are you as a collaborator? How would you act as that? And then start going from there.
Hi, I'm Beate.
Hi.
And you asked before why he took you to the team, and you said a lot of adjectives. And I think he took you to the team because he was clever, and never forget that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Because we're running out of time. Okay, over there.
Hi. While I was listening to you, I was very impressed by your resilience, but I was also wondering, weren't there many moments where you were also like, I'm done with this, like, this is how you're going to treat me, like, I'm not interested in being here? Because that's the question that kept going through my mind. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious to hear your perspective on that. That's ever a question you also asked yourself?
Yeah. Well, most of the time I'm treated super well, to be honest. So these last situations I mentioned have been situations over the past almost 4 years. And, but yeah, I had a moment when I was like, oh my God, it's too much. I can't deal with that anymore. And do I want to escape or not? And this isn't a long time ago. And I said to myself, I need to think about how can I support my body, because I was like, I had too many things on my plate, so to say, and I was seeing that my body and myself, I do not feel well anymore. And so I said to myself, good, I need to deal with that right now, because I know people who have like burnout, and I don't want to be a person who has burnout. So I was dealing, what do I need to delegate? What do I need to end? What do I want to continue to do? And I also spoke to my mentors and my boss, and they all supported me. And now I'm feeling very good again. And so, yeah, that's what I can share. I think we all have that. Like the woman there, she told us how a leadership story looks like, and there it is. Life is always filled with ups and downs, and if there is a down, take time to breathe. I'm a runner, so I go running, and everything is like in my head, and I try to find my energy again.